Welcome back to the Fierce and Femme podcast with your host, Alicia.
And Rami, and today we'll be talking about our fitness journeys. But first things first, we're going to do a cheeky little life update. So, Alicia, what's going on in your life, sis?
Well, yesterday, I feel like Rami and I have been together a lot recently. Yesterday, I had I just don't even know how to put it into words, a really fucking wholesome, I feel like is the best way to describe it, morning with my clients. We got together and did a group workout, and originally it was meant to be to actually celebrate. So that was actually going to be like a launch party for Principessa, and then obviously I launched it early. So we kept the workout because I still wanted to get everyone together, and we did a lower body workout, and it just turned into like a fucking party, honestly. Like that wasn't even planned, and it just became so fucking fun. If you want to see more, head over to the Principessa Instagram and there'll be plenty of content there. We made some fun TikToks. We had a wall sit challenge, and I was pissing myself in the wall sit challenge. They're all doing dances to like get themselves through the pain.
Pop off, girls.
But the vibes were just like everyone got along so well. It's just like, I don't know what to say because I was just so happy with it. And yeah, just such an epic morning. I think as well, life update is I feel like I'm finally settled. I've been back and forth from like Ivanhoe a lot at the moment, and I'm in Rosebud a lot for work over the next few weeks, so it's forced me to like be at home, and it's just nice to not be driving back and forth an hour all the time. And yeah, I feel like everything's going good. What about you?
I love that for you. A lot. Last week, or I mean, it'll be 2 weeks when you guys listen to this, was a huge week because I finally finished up with Victoria Police, which is so surreal and feels so strange that I don't have a roster anymore. Like that's probably my favorite thing ever, is like I can just get up and create a morning routine, and one where I can start slow because I found that like with Vic Pole plus the business plus everything else, I was always so go. And this morning it was so nice to just wake up and be like, I don't need to rush. Like I now have all day, every day to work on the business, which is really cool. It's very exciting. So honestly, that's the biggest life update. I feel like that's all that's really fucking consumed.
The weekend that we had together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was fucking wholesome too.
Yeah. So I run Rise with Rami runs retreats, and we had the third one, so Unleash and Unwind retreat, which was a couple of weeks ago. And if you follow me on socials and you saw on my socials, I actually had no one invest. And instead of quitting, cancelling all the negative, sad things, I decided to turn it into a beautiful weekend with a bunch of other women who are also in business and who are just girls who also needed a weekend away. So it was just such divine timing, and it was really, really beautiful to turn, again, like pain into power. It's going to be one of my life mottos, I reckon.
Instagram bio.
Literally.
Needs to be updated.
And that was so fun. Like we just played games, we worked together, we filmed content. Obviously Alicia and I did a lot of stuff for the podcast. We went on walks. We did a workout. Just honestly, the highlight for me was just being around girls who get it and girls who are always just striving for the best. Like that was just super fucking wholesome.
And I think being each other's cheerleader. Like for everything, we were just like helping each other with content, and like with me even. The lighting, we were trying to get videos outside of Pilates.
Oh my God.
We literally changed positions like 10 times. But even just the willingness of like,
everyone was committed.
Frustrated. Everyone was just like, no, we are fucking
like,
getting
we
you
get
the
it.
photos that are getting good because we all understand it.
Yeah.
And that makes a massive difference too.
Totally. I feel like another life update on the back of that is like this weekend that just passed, I actually went a weekend away with girls that I went to school with. Yeah, and that was actually so beautiful as well because we've known each other for 15 plus years, however long we've started year 7. And it's also so nice to have like two such different group of girlfriends, but we still had so much fun, played games, and just had really deep, intentional conversations too. And it's just, I know this is not the episode at all, but it's so nice to be 30 and just have incredible fucking women around you. So thanks for being one of those. Love you.
No, because I'm going to call you out for a second because yesterday you were literally the best. Like, I already said this to you yesterday. Saying it publicly, but I need to say it again. Is that, like, the effort that you went to, and I think this is something I was literally thinking about yesterday, is that I've always been such a giving person, like over the top giving. And I feel like I've never had that reciprocated. And I think yesterday I was just like, this is fucking cool. Like, I'm having it reciprocated. And that just was like,
it's awesome.
Really fucking cool. So thank you.
Yeah. Because I had fun.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was so much. She was fucking getting up on machines. Like,
yeah. You can hire me now for
angles.
vlogging.
Honestly, like, committed. So I think that was just really fucking cool as well. So
Slay. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
All right, Alicia, where did your fitness journey start?
Yeah, did we say we're talking about our fitness journeys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's go.
so, all right. Take us back to early 2000s. I feel like it started, I'm going to like go from the start because I feel like it needs a bit of context, but I grew up in a family where mum especially was very on us about always doing something to move our bodies. She was a runner. My stepdad did lots of runs and just very, very active. So we were always made sure that we did something active, which at the time I was not the biggest fan of. Now I'm so fucking grateful because I've worked with so many different women, and I've seen people who haven't grown up like that and how they maybe have no connection to their body whatsoever. And I'm really grateful because I have moved from such a young age. The movement, I'm really connected to my body. I understand it. And that was really cool and that was really lucky. So I did all sorts of things like swimming, dancing, netball, basketball, life saving. I was a little nipper. Because I was a good fucking swimmer. I was a good swimmer. But if you don't know, my mum's a swimming teacher. So that's why I was forced to do swimming. But all the things, I think that's pretty much all we did. But I know that's a lot of things. But lots of different things because I also get bored very easily. So I would do something and then it'd be like not a fan anymore. When I started going to the gym was at about 15. And I actually tried to go earlier, but there's all these rules about how old you have to be to go to the gym. And I remember really clearly with mum in that we went into so many different gyms and they were like, too young. Or you could go with an adult, but mum didn't want to get a gym membership. And I was just like, you get in. So I went at 15, signed up to Good Life. And the good thing about it is you get like 3 free PT sessions. And I remember I had this guy and I remember I also had the biggest fucking crush on him. Sorry, Jared, if you're listening, but you're a 15-year-old girl and you've got this muscly dude who's like PTing you. But that was good. And he like gave me all sorts of things to do that I'd never tried before. But then when I went off on my own, my sessions would look like booty band, jump squats, just absolute fucking burning out the legs. And always training legs. I don't think I ever really did upper body because it was just like legs and abs, which is like classic. I feel like everyone can probably relate to that, especially as a teenage girl. Legs and abs. Another thing, I was very like wanted smaller thigh gap and like all these things. And I was never ever overweight. I was always that like middle ground of I wasn't a super skinny kid, but I wasn't overweight. And I sort of felt like then I didn't fit in any area. I was just like a little bit heavier than super skinny. And I would compare myself a lot to my friends because I had a lot of really small friends. And then I would like shame myself for being heavier, which even sounds silly to say because I look at photos of me and I'm just like, I was not whatsoever. Like, you know, when you look at photos now and I'm literally just like, what the actual fuck? But that's just what was at the time. I feel like we've come leaps and bounds, but equally I'm surrounded in a space that's so different now. So yeah, did that around 15, was not consistent whatsoever. Like would never really go to the gym. But when I did, it was like a good session. Equally another thing, I would like secretly do workouts in my bedroom.
Oh.
And it wasn't really like, not that it was secret, I wasn't hiding it, but equally if someone would open the door, I'd be like, I'm not doing anything. Like, you didn't see me. So I did like movement. A lot of it wasn't for the right intentions at the start, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I remember just really enjoying the endorphins that I got from it. Then I feel like there were a few years where I probably didn't really do anything. I feel like I can't really remember, like 16, 17. I think it was like those YouTube-y workout times. And then lockdown happened, which pretty much like catapulted me into strength training. I briefly touched on this, I think. No, maybe I haven't. I've touched on it in my Instagram. I've dislocated my left knee 4 times. And 4 fucking times. Same knee, by the way, like same side, 4 times. Pretty much once it happens once, it makes it a lot easier for it to happen again. So usually if someone's dislocated their knee, it will just happen again. But I never rehabbed it properly. Again, I was a teenager, so I was just like, why the fuck would I do rehab? Had more important things on my agenda. And when it happened that 4th time, I'd just left high school. I was actually playing social basketball because me and a few high school friends were doing it. So much fucking fun. And I was just so pissed as well because it was so fun. And I did it playing basketball, and I literally just remember falling to the floor, and your body just goes into a state of shock. Like, that's the one thing everyone would always ask me. I never thought it hurt dislocating my knee. It's just the shock your body goes through is literally like, you feel like you're going to vomit. Like, it's obviously freaking out that something's happened to your body. And then obviously couldn't play basketball. But equally, I was like, okay, now I'm going to rehab and actually fucking take this seriously because 4 times is enough. We're not letting that happen again. And I think blessed in a way that then lockdown happened and I didn't have anything to do. So it's like, well, you have no excuse not to do your rehab now because you have so much time to do it. My partner, I was about to say my partner at the time, he's still my partner, but at that time, he was actually studying his Cert 3 and 4. He never completed it, but he was studying it. He was a very like gym guy. So he was also like pushing strength training on me, and I'm very lucky for that as well. He was like teaching me how to deadlift and all these sorts of things. And I was literally just using weights from Kmart. And this is where I say to everyone, like, you can start with absolutely fucking nothing. Like, I had those weights from Kmart where you slide the plates on, you screw the like, I don't even know what to call them. Clips. They weren't clips. Screw things, whatever. Bolts. That's pretty much what they are. And used that for ages because we were in lockdown for fucking forever. When lockdown eventually ended, feel like this was more like 2021, got into the gym, but I had major gym anxiety, which I'm not going to touch on too much because we'll get to that later in the episode. So that prevented me a lot. My consistency was not all there. And then pretty much from there, I started doing Pilates a few years later, started combining strength and Pilates. And that's pretty much, I feel like from 2023 to now in 2025 has been like the 2 most strongest consistent years of actually genuinely moving for the best reasons. I'm like, I need to fucking get it out of my throat. Generally moving for the best reasons, the best intentions, loving movement, never doing it from a place of punishment, and yeah, just being excited to move my body and having a really good relationship with it. That it's not something that, oh, I have to go to the gym, which yes, I obviously have days like that, but doing it because I'm like, I need to do this because I know it makes me feel fucking amazing. So I feel like that's almost long story short, even though that felt quite long. But it's been a big journey, like literally from since I was little. But what's your journey looked like, Rami?
Oh, I remember being so little watching those stupid aerobic videos from like
I've been seeing them on
the
TikTok
80s
recently.
or 90s, like, because God bless, mum would just like put them on at home and I would just like join her. And looking back, I'm like, they're actually fucking wild, those videos. Anyway, so that probably started my fitness journey to do those at home. But I strongly remember, I think I was in year 10 or 11 and I wanted to join the gym because one of my best friends had joined the gym and I remember being told that it was a waste of money. So the gym in my world when I was younger wasn't really a thing because no one at home went to the gym. Like, we didn't have the most healthiest upbringing either. Like, bless, my mum's Lebanese, my dad was Sri Lankan. So we had like really big, delicious meals all the time, but then followed by really bad habits of like eating snacks, having soft drinks straight after. There was no encouragement of like movement or anything like that in our household. Like my household was like the household where people would come over and be so excited to go to our pantry because there was like a mini Safeway or Coles in there.
Mine was the complete opposite.
Yeah, it was fucking full on. So yeah, I really struggled with that growing up, which then in turn made me struggle in my body because I used to identify myself as like the chubby one or like the fat one, and like my older sister was much skinnier than me, so it was always so noticeable as well being at home. So I didn't really like hit the gym or start focusing on my health until I was maybe like 23, I want to say, or like 24, like maybe after uni. I signed up to actually, I feel like it was a little bit earlier. I went to this one gym and it was great. Like, I had a friend from my old work. She pretty much encouraged me. She's like, come sign up to this gym because there's classes. Because I was one of those people that was like, I don't know how to do anything in the gym.
Yeah.
And back then, like, social media wasn't this huge thing where you could just go on TikTok or Instagram and be like, how to squat. And then there'll be 50 different videos on how to squat. It was kind of like, if you don't know how to do something, you're going to have to get a PT. And I didn't want to back then, or couldn't afford to probably get one. So I joined a gym with my friend and I honestly loved it. Like, I had time to go to the classes and she was like crazy, like obsessed with the gym. So I was like, it's really easy to have a friend to go because she's always fucking there, like 7 days a week, like no days off. She was wild. So I feel like that really, really helped. And then over time I was like, okay, I want to try something new or do a little bit more. And then I got into more strength training at this gym. And his gym was incredible. It was more so like he had set times rather than it being like an open floor sort of gym. Yeah. And I really liked that at the time because he was always there to sort of coach people. So it cost a little bit more than your average gym, but you were pretty much getting a coach there to help you do the big movements like the deadlifts, the chest press, the squats. So I did that for a couple years and really enjoyed that and started to get really strong and really fit. And started to appreciate the gym culture and appreciate like the social side of it as to why people go, I guess, to make friends and have fun and stuff like that. And I feel like that really helped me with my knowledge around the movements in the gym, like not just going to lift heavy, but to also learn about it. Like, can't preach enough about having a coach or a PT if you're scared. Literally, it's just that place and that coach specifically, I feel like was the turning point for me to be able to go to any other gym and then do whatever I needed to do in the gym. So I went to that gym for a couple of years, and then when I started shift work, everything started to change, and we'll touch on that after. But for me, it's like, I couldn't get to the times anymore, so I had to let go of that gym, and then went to a different gym, but then really struggled because I had no plan. I didn't have anyone. Like, it made me realize how much I love having someone keeping me accountable. And then that's when I hired my first online coach. I reckon it was almost a year or so into being into Victoria Police. I had my first online fitness coach. Shout out to Kate, who's also someone I had known personally. So I was like, I'm going to do it with her because I know her. She knows me. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. And that was the best. Like, that was so fucking great. But again, that like didn't come without its fears because that was like double the investment. And then I was like, oh my God, she's not going to be with me though. Like, I was so new to the online space. But I was like, I just got to this point where I was like, I need to do something. Like, I don't want to pay for a PT in person because of my shift work and Online just made sense for me. And she was phenomenal. And again, I just felt like that's when it unlocked a little bit more of like the mindset tools that you need when having a coach, because it was like, she's not physically there with me every single day, but she's there online. So it's great to have someone accountable, but I had to keep pushing myself anyway to get to the gym, if that makes sense. So yeah, so much I learnt with her. And I think as well, having that online coach to help with nutrition too was really fucking helpful. And I was like, I would have been in my mid-20s then, but because of the household that I grew up in, I didn't know about carbs, proteins, and fats. Like, I wasn't raised in that sort of household where everything was, I guess, portion sized. It was very much just like, eat as much as you can, but also like, don't leave the food, you need to finish your meal even if you're full. So it's been like a lot of belief systems that I've had to change as I've gotten older to being like, actually, it's okay if you're full. Like, you don't need to force yourself. And so many little things that you learn has stemmed from when you were a child. So yeah, had the online coach, and then after a year I let go of her, and then again, just like freeballed it, moved gyms, and then again, like, here I am now, like with an online coach again. And shout out to Kate again, because I'm back for the second time. Because I guess what I've learned on my fitness journey is that I love having a coach, and that's just so awesome.
And there's also nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, totally. So
I think...
No, you go.
I was going to say, I think sometimes people think having a coach means that you don't know what you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
But whereas it's like, you can have a coach at any stage of your journey.
Yeah.
And they're just as helpful.
Absolutely. Like as much as my gym life and having a coach life fluctuated, like so did my body. And that's why I needed the accountability, like especially being a woman, there are just so many factors when it comes to losing weight, gaining weight, whatever your goal is. It's like, it's not just as simple as nutrition and going to the gym, like the mindset side of things, like your cycle, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, mine was, pretty full on. It went from like, don't go to the gym because it's a waste of money to having an online coach and now like going to the gym all the time and loving it. So yeah, it's very, very unique.
What do you think your biggest barrier was?
Definitely the shift work to start with. Like as soon as I started Vic Pole, like I just could not make it to classes on time. And then even so, like for example, not just shift work, but when I started the business too, that would also be like a second barrier, because let's say for example, I had work 7 to 3 and then had a client at 5. I would be like, okay, I'll go to the gym straight after and then have my client session. But that doesn't account for having overtime, like doing overtime, because Vic Pole, you're always doing overtime. So there'd be so many shifts where it's like I'd finish too late, so I'd have to skip the gym because then I have to do business stuff. And that's why a lot of my gym life, unfortunately, and even a lot of my nutrition, I just threw out the fucking window because of my time management around shift work. So that was definitely like one of the biggest barriers. It's just like you're either too tired or you're getting up too early or you're doing night shifts, and it's just very much like you had to take it day by day. Because like I said, I could schedule all my gym sessions in for the week, but if I'm doing overtime or whatever it is, like that is just physically going to stop me from going.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest barrier for me. What about you?
I think I can't think about one in like, well, actually, that's a lie. I think my gym anxiety was around so much earlier than I was probably aware of it. And this is in like when I would go to the gym when I was about 15. The reason I wasn't as consistent because I would always be like, okay, well, who's there at that time? And I can't go if that person's there at this time, or it's going to be busier at this time. Like that was always my thought process. And not going to lie, like I still have some of that to this day where I have to just remind myself that like that's not the case. So I think it was actually around a lot earlier than I actually realized, fuck, this is actually a massive thing that's holding me back. But it really got, I feel like the word exacerbated, like explains it really well, but it really just became so much bigger after lockdown. And I think it was that whole thing, which I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people would have experienced though, is like we were in our houses for literally like a year, barely seeing people, barely going out. I was lucky enough that my job, I was still working. I was at Priceline, but I got to see people and I got to talk to people, and like I feel really lucky for that because I wasn't just stuck at home 24/7. But equally, I think it was going into a space like a gym where I was in a really, I guess, like transformative period of my life of like I had just left high school. The year that was meant to be like, I guess, like clubbing, partying, doing all the things, I was at home 24/7. So going back into the gym, I just felt like really, really, really anxious. Or again, it was the thing of like, there'll be that person there from high school. Like there's this, it's too busy at this time. And that was always my thought process. So I think gym anxiety, and that stuck around for a good amount of time because I didn't talk to anyone about it. And I almost like, I just convinced myself, like I knew it was a problem, but equally I convinced myself it wasn't at the same time because I was a PT and I'm like, well, I can't be a PT and have gym anxiety. Like I just could not have those two things coexist. Whereas now I'm like, fuck, I should have fucking talked about that because that would have been huge to talk about, but equally it is what it is now. So yeah.
So on the back end of that, what is something that you learned about yourself on this journey?
Oh my goodness, so many things. I think into, like, this is going to sound really hypocritical. Whoa. Hypocritical?
I know, wow, I like it.
Making up words over here. I think how easily I would give up in times, but then also how much I would push myself. So like the 2 and 2 of like how easily I would maybe give up on, I meant to go to the gym today, whatever, it doesn't matter. But then equally when I got my first coach, I didn't even mention that before, I got a coach in like 2022. And when I got her, it was just that like I got to a point where I got so fucking frustrated with myself of like, I know I have so much more in me. Why the fuck am I not doing anything with that? And why can I not just like get that out of me and like use it? Which is why I got the coach. And then, holy fucking shit, I remember the first week I sent her form videos of me doing hip thrusts at like 40 kilos. And she was like, next week you're warming up at 80. And I was like, I literally freaked the fuck out. Like, I'm sorry, what? Never in my life have I done 80. And I did it. She's like, cool, next week you're warming up at 100. And I was just like having that I needed so badly. And yeah, I think just learned that like, holy fuck, I'm so much stronger than I thought I was. And I was just holding myself back so much. And then equally realizing on the flip side, fuck, I actually give up on myself too easily. So I feel like they go hand in hand. What about you?
Yeah. I think it's just like what I've learned about myself is that it's okay to change what you like about the gym. Because I totally forgot to mention in my fitness journey, like I gave Pilates a hot crack and like hot yoga a lot as well before I started with my online coaching again, because I was getting sick of just strength training. And I think that like, I don't know if it's a stigma. It's like if you do one, you just stick to it. Like same with like running. I really got into running as well. I feel like there's so much on my fitness journey I forgot to mention. But anyway, those things. Like I really got into running this year. And I think it was just like being okay with letting go of the version of me that was so obsessed with strength training and obsessed with getting strong and obsessed with getting fit and toned and whatnot. And just appreciating that in this part of my life, I actually want to focus on running and focus on my agility and then like do the hot yoga, because like becoming flexible, and especially with wearing like 15 kilos of weight at work, like that does things to your back and your hips. Kilos? It's about 10 to 15.
Fuck.
Yeah. I know, it's wild. So I was always complaining about being sore. So it's like, okay, well then I just had to prioritize doing some yoga. So I think what I've learned is like your priorities are going to change on your fitness journey while your life changes. And while things are changing around you, it's like, it's okay to change up the gym and not think that because you do one thing, you have to do that forever. Like, it's just like you're doing the strength and Pilates and like how that's your whole entire soul now. Because that, it makes, literally though, in the best way possible. In the best way possible, because it's like, it's so important for people to know that you can do it all. You don't have to just pick one. So yeah, I feel like that's what I learned.
Or wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think we want to finish off with some advice for you guys, but I feel like we could be here for hours if we just say advice. So let's go. What is your one biggest piece of advice you would give someone?
Your mind will give up before your body does.
Love.
Yeah, because on the back end of what you were saying before, like you're stronger than you think, because I was also going to say that, like you are. And sometimes that's why having the coach is great, because they will push you and they'll see things that maybe you're choosing to not see or you don't want to see, or you think, oh no, I can't do that today. Like for example, when women are on their cycle, like, yeah, you might need to rest or you might actually be stronger. Like I feel like some days I'm fucking stronger because my ego will be like, just because you're on your fucking period, babe, doesn't mean you can't lift heavy weights. So it's like, don't always trust your mind into thinking that you need to give up or you need to go lighter. Like, just give it a fucking shot and just see what happens. Obviously, make sure you're not going to fucking injure yourself. But to the point where it's like, if I just do this, what will happen? So, yeah, that's mine. Yours?
I could literally be.
Yeah, no, that was hard. That was really hard.
Yeah,
anyway.
This is obviously my job that I do every single day. But I think one of the biggest things that I started saying to my clients, and if they're listening, they'll probably even know what I'm going to say before it comes out of my mouth, but more around the Christmas period last year, because I really made emphasis around that period last year, is that this is not going to be a stressful period. This is not going to be somewhere where it's about like worrying about what you're eating on Christmas Day, whatever, like fuck that off. Is that sorry,
no, you're right.
It makes
you're
me
right.
really angry.
Like, enjoy fucking Christmas, guys. It's one day out of 365.
And this is where I love my like little one-liner quotes, as you would know. And this is where that came from, is that something is always better than nothing. And I literally, it was so cute. I was watching one of the testimonials.
I was literally just about to say, I had to film some testimonials for Alicia yesterday, and that just reminded me that a few of the girls said that. So
that's how much I drill. Like, I literally say this all the time to them, because I also think you need a reminder. I also remind myself of this, and literally it came up last night. with my partner because we had no food at the house for dinner. And I was just busy working and I'm like, I just do not have time to go get food, do whatever. And I had bread and butter for dinner, like full just putting myself. And he's like, what would you tell your clients if they did that? I said something is better than nothing. Like eating something is better than nothing. Doing 5 minutes of movement is better than nothing. Doing 10 minutes. I think people get so in their heads about it being fucking perfect, about having to go to the gym for an hour and a half, about having to do all this. And that's where they make the excuse. Excuse me if I'm getting passionate because this is my topic where I literally just get like fired up about, because I think if you if you, for example, have in your mind you've got to go to the gym today and it's an hour workout and you don't have an hour of time, you just go, okay, no gym. Instead, go, okay, cool. Do I have half an hour? What can I do with that half an hour? Something is better than nothing because your consistency adds up and up and up time and time and time and time. And you just putting in the reps, whether it's the reps of just moving your body 30 minutes every day, whatever that looks like, eating well, it all adds up and it makes a massive fucking difference when you're actually just consistent, whether that's 5-10 minutes, whatever. So just start actually fucking doing something, because otherwise you just get stuck in inaction because you're just like, well, continuing to make excuses, don't have enough time, all these things, when it's like, well, you have 10 minutes, use that 10 minutes because it'll make a difference.
Fantastic. And on that note, that is the end of this episode.
Slay, what a great way to finish.
So great. I was like, we're going to leave it there with that passion. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions about our fitness journeys, please feel free to message us. Obviously, Alicia is a PT. If this has just ticked something in your brain, like, oh, I need someone, I'm just going to like shout out my girl who's right next to me.
Thanks.
Please message Alicia, because I didn't even mention.
I know, I was sitting here this whole time.
Oh my God, sorry. We were talking about this before when we had our business journeys episode. There were so many things that we forgot to mention. And I literally forgot to mention that when I first started my business, Alicia was literally like the first, not just friend, but like PT who also helped me get out of my rut, because I was in such a rut of like, I don't have time for this and I don't have time for that and da-da-da-da. Sorry, I forgot to mention you. Okay. I feel terrible now. Anyway. I signed up to, was it 8 weeks? 12 weeks? 10. I signed up to a 10-week Pilates program, and it was Strength and Pilates program online, which was so cool. And I got a box delivered to me, which I still have with lots of little equipment pieces and goodies in there. And again, it's just like making it work for you. I was like, I don't want to not do anything anymore. Can someone fucking help me? And she did. So again, shout out to you for helping me.
You're so welcome.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that before.
No, you're fine.
I forgot to mention that I had injuries and all these other things too, but we're not even going to go back to that. So please just message us, because we've got more that we could talk about.
If there's any specific questions, or if you feel like you're related, for example, if you're someone who's experiencing gym anxiety, or if you're someone who's experiencing like a similar upbringing to how you had as well, like anything, I think sometimes just hearing stories where you're like, fuck, that sounds exactly like me, can be so validating. And just like, no one is perfect. We said this in last week's episode. Social media is a fucking highlight reel. This is why we wanted to be on this podcast, to tell you like the ins and outs of our lives and what it's looked like. So let's leave it there, because we'll just keep going on and on and on. But you can find us at Fierce and Femme Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, share to your stories, do all the things, and we will be back in your ears next week. Bye.